Hey guys, welcome to Behind the Code with me, Jamie, and Ryan. Say hello, Gord.
Hello.
Hey. Hmm.
Um, so pretty much, we're gonna be talking about we're gonna be doing these videos pretty much after every time we record and we make a film, and we're gonna talk
hmm
about um how we think we went, like the good things and the bad things, what we can improve on, some of the feedback that we got, and yeah, maybe sneak in the teaser for the next one. So
Mm.
Woo. Watch to
Mm.
the end for that though,
yeah,
but don't skip
Definitely.
to the end,
Yes.
please.
we'll find out if you do.
It'll be no, because we can check our analytics. You think you? We all wanted to quickly thank everybody
Yeah.
who helped out. Which was Marnie, who was the woman in the short. She acted in it. She was fantastic. So thank you for sticking with us and helping us shoot that. And we really needed an actress, and we had like 2 weeks till we're filming,
Yeah.
so she really helped us out. Our friend Daniel for being the demon. He's never done any of the acting stuff before, so we just kind of were like, we need somebody to put a bunch of fucking makeup and shit on,
Yeah. Blood in your face.
and yeah, blood and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
yeah, thanks for that. And Emily, who applied all that makeup and all the
Yeah, she was
prosthetics and
great.
stuff, that was awesome. So thank you to those people, and also thanks for Andrew for editing our behind the scenes stuff for that. That was
Yeah.
awesome as well.
That
Yeah.
kind of leads me to the first point I had for things that went well was I thought the acting was great. I think what Marnie did, great reactions. She took directing well, like directions. Same with Daniel, you said hadn't really had any acting experience before. Like first time jumping in, he was willing to give it all, and yeah, I thought he did great. Was that?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
I
agree.
was pretty surprised for like the first time Daniel was acting. He did all right.
Yeah,
Um, and yeah, Marnie was great as well. She obviously like when we were doing our film degree, we there was a lot of times where actors didn't really read the script and stuff like that, and they kind of winged it on the spot.
hmm
But you could tell Marnie,
mm.
she read the script, she studied it, and yeah, she was really
Yeah,
great.
she came to like the first meeting with questions and
Oh
things like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
So um, yeah, that's always good.
That
If you
was
ever
good.
have
It
an
showed
actor,
interest.
yeah, if you ever have an actor or actress, especially if you're doing free productions, and they take an interest in your work, and they read your script and have questions and character motives, things like that, then that's always a good sign for someone
Yeah,
who will be a good asset for your film. Stuff with your friends is always really fun. People you actually enjoy working with and who enjoy working with you will always be make your production 10 times better, because no one will
yeah,
be bickering, no one will be on different wavelengths, everyone's on the same page, and it just works out a lot better for everybody. Everyone has a good time.
So we still managed to stick on to the schedule and finish early, which was good as well. So
hmm
it's like we were always like we always believed that when you're making a film, like it should always be fun, you know.
I like what we're doing with Code Threes because it's a part of growing as creators. Like we all have our things that
hmm
we want to do in film, and it just gives us a chance to keep doing what we want to do and make our own films instead of working for someone else, being like a runner. We get to make our own things, take leadership in our roles, and just grow. And that's why I kind of appreciate the things that we're doing now.
With that as well, is a lot of people will tell you to you know go get experience and work experience and things like that, which is I
Mm.
completely 100% agree. But if you really want to just make your own stuff, and you can easily network the same way. Now we have, thanks to Collector, we've got actors like
Mm.
kind of lined up with, if I need to make a call, just say we need a female actress again, I can just call Marnie or message Marnie and say, hey, are you interested in working with us again? And they've all said that, yeah, that they would. Same with Emily on makeup. If we
Yeah,
want
yeah,
to do any special effect monster stuff, we can get her in, and Jamie can learn from her, and eventually
yeah,
kind of lead that. And yeah, so if you make your own connections, you go out, you network, those sort of stuff will come to you, and you'll meet people that will enjoy what you do, and that you'll have fun working with as well. So either way, it's beneficial, regardless of if you're looking for work or looking for someone to work for you. It all works out in
mm.
the end, I think.
All directors say like if you search it up, they all say if you want to be a filmmaker, pick up a camera and start and make
just
something.
make things.
And
Yeah.
it's so easy to do it nowadays as well because cameras are cheap, or even your phone. And through that as well, you network. So we just went on Facebook and found friends and just found the actors and the people that we needed. So we were able to make that film.
I hadn't done any special effects work or makeup work. I had kind of no idea about it. I was just going to go in and give it a go and grow in that aspect. But I had practice, and I did like a nail rip, which was to like simulate a nail being ripped off the thumb, which wasn't too bad. It was still good, but I just think scheduling wise, it would have taken far longer if I did it. And Ryan showed us Emily's work, and we all thought it was worth investing in. And even when we were going for the meeting in the city to meet up with Emily and discuss it, she just showed enthusiasm, and she was interested in the project. And again,
she responded with her brief, like, what was it?
Oh yeah.
We hadn't even gotten home yet, and she had like a brief that she sent.
Yeah,
it's definitely a great thing, and like it puts a lot of confidence in us. Like when someone is just dedicated and they're on the ball, and they're interested. That's the main thing. To show interest and passion in whatever you're pursuing. If it's being an actor or a department in the film, just always show passion. Yeah.
Wise words.
Thank you.
Another point that I had was we had some pretty good problem-solving skills. So we a lot of the stuff that we did in the film, or some of the smaller things anyway, we kind of did on the spot, and I'm mainly talking about like the creating of the shadow, how we worked around the light with that.
The bed with placing the books.
Yeah,
and then you have to get the under the bed shot. Yeah.
Yeah.
That took us far too long, and I'm not proud to admit.
I think that's something that's going to happen pretty much every single film we do, where we have an idea for something, and you should test them, but like if where we want to make like a film every couple of months, so there's times where we're on set and we want to come up with an idea for something, and then we try and figure out a way of doing it. And even though that's a small thing, like trying to cast a shadow, the reason why that was hard to do is because we had to record that shot twice, one with the shadow in, one with the shadow out, and we needed that light to seem kind of natural, but at the same time cast a shadow. So
and then we added the lightning as well, so that would have been a bit like, and we had to match the lightning with that cut as well, and with the editing out. People say like the more prepared you are, the less problems will come, but at the end of the day, they still will be there. There'll still be something, like for example, what we said before with the bed being too low, when we wanted to shoot those shots under the bed, which turned out great anyway. It was probably some of the best shots in the thing, and we just propped it up on encyclopedias and stuff, and that was our problem solving for that. It was like really small and probably stupid. There's probably a way better way of doing it, but we did it, and it looks great in the end, so who cares how kind of thing, as long as it's safe and it's and you can do it quick, then hell yeah, go for it. I originally had it that you don't actually see the glass shatter, but then on the day we figured out a way of how to do it safely and ended up doing it anyway, so
yeah, and with the lightning, that was something that we wanted to do, and we were trying to decide if we wanted to do that in post or not. And I was kind of like, I don't really want to do that in post. It's not going to be very natural. So we decided that we'd try and do it somehow on the set. So we literally it was a very simple solution of just using the Filoni lights, which had a dial at the back where you can just dim it or make it brighter.
Yeah.
So yeah, we just kind of flicked those on and off, and that created the lightning which we wanted. Like, I think we managed to kind of pull off that creepy and thrillerish, eerie film that we wanted to go for. And like,
and Lewis did a great thing with the sound.
Sound.
Lewis. Thanks, Lewis, for the sound.
Lewis,
he's part of the crew. When we say crew,
Lewis is Lewis, our sound guy. He did an awesome job. I guess it definitely. I remember he's part of the crew. So
he's part of the crew. But I remember when Adam showed me when we got the sound back, and it was just like 10 times better. And like sound is just so crucial for like horror.
Yeah, we were fortunate enough as well to have worked with him before on a horror film as well. So he kind of knows my direction with horror, and us three are pretty much all in the same boat regarding creative decisions, and same with Lewis as well now. So we pretty much just gave him a list of like, here's the general idea of what we want. Here's our ideas we had with like the cracking of the bones or whatever, the thunder and stuff like that. And then he just worked his magic and added his own touch to it, which is awesome.
Yeah, it's one of the hard things about being the editor is that before sending it off to sound, it's so hard to tell if the scare is going to work or not. Like looking at it and trying to decide if this cut works or not without having the sound in it, it makes it a lot harder to edit. And sometimes you kind of sit down, you're like, this isn't going to scare people, this isn't going to work, and you kind of just lose a little bit of hope. And then you send it off to Lewis, the sound guy, and comes back. And
Lewis, the sound guy.
That's every time I say Lewis, I always say the sound guy for some reason.
Because I was kind of afraid with like such a smaller crew that it may look super amateurish and this and that. But I think for the three of us and the rest of everyone else, it just turned out really great, and I was really happy with it. And showing it off to everyone, I was really proud of the work that everyone did. And
I thought that, you know, with our limited amount of resources and things like that, we pulled together, and on the day we were really efficient, and we worked around everything, and it turned out pretty cool. I'm really happy with it, actually. It's a good starting point. I think people are enjoying it. It's getting, you know, good engagement. So I
had like a friend of mine like share it, and then seeing comments in his share of people saying like, oh, is this a film? Like, is this a feature film? Stuff like that. It's just been really good to hear and see, and it's motivated us even more than we were to keep going with what we're doing. So thank you.
Yeah, seeing the subscribers and the views and stuff like that is always going to keep us going, which is good. So we'll go to the dark side now, and we'll talk about the things that we thought went wrong.
There's one blaring issue that we had throughout the whole thing that hindered the scheduling, which was the dreaded blackout curtains.
Yes.
I'm bringing that up.
Buy gaffer tape if you're on a film set. Have gaffer tape available.
Gaffer tape is key. We had to set up like black sheets over the curtains, over the window. Sorry, because it was daylight and we had to show that it was nighttime. But we had this crappy white tape that it didn't hold for like 5-10 minutes, and then it would just drop off. And we had a lot of...
It was really hot as well in the room.
Yeah, the room was really hot, the lights and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was an issue, because the black sheets kept dropping off like every 5 minutes, and like light would just beam through. And so we had to spend like a lot of time to keep taping it up. So yeah, gaffer tape is key.
Yeah, because of the lighting setup too, being so bare minimal, especially in the nighttime stuff, the small like slither of light that peers in through those gaps as well, even if the blacks are up, is super, like you can see it, because the rest of like the walls and everything that we're not lighting is essentially pitch black, and then you have this streak of light just, you know, kind of accenting the window, and that's you know, if someone notices that and they say, you know, they see that it's a middle, like you can tell it's sunlight. Otherwise, you know,
it's a pretty big continuity error. If you do go back and watch it, you'll notice that in some of the shots that there's light coming through.
It was really bad, because it's really started to dig into the schedule and timing, and you know, we didn't want to keep actors or Emily the makeup artist, we didn't want to keep them hanging around. So it was that bad that we sometimes just had to drop it and just work around it with camera angles and editing. So yeah, that was a big issue that we had.
Overall, shooting low light was something that we've definitely learnt from doing this film.
Yeah, we did research a lot into it, and we before we even went to the shoot, we knew how to shoot it. It was just on the day we wanted it to be perfect, and we wanted, you know, it to be scary. So when we're looking through the viewfinder and it's, you know, it looks brighter in what we're seeing on the day, and just trying to get it right, and lighting, like this was with the monster shots as well, so we only had one day to shoot that. So it was literally like whatever we don't get today with the monster and with Emily doing on the makeup and stuff, we just don't have. So we set up the lights, and originally it looked great. Then we thought it looked too bright on camera, which is what we should have kept, because then we could go back in post and make it darker.
You definitely want to overlight your scene, and then in post you can make it darker, as dark as you want, and you won't have to worry about the graininess and stuff like that, because cameras have trouble shooting in low light, so that's why you want to light it so much. And I guess that kind of goes into the other issue, which was continuity. We didn't have a continuity person. We were all going to try and keep an eye on it ourselves, but I guess it's hard to do when I'm shooting behind the scenes and trying to do the set and all that stuff as well, and you guys are doing your thing as well. It was definitely something that is always an issue on every film. Even in the films in Hollywood now, you'll see that there's always continuity problems. But that was something that was mentioned. Like, even if you go back to the film and she's smashed the glass of water, later on, before she turns the lamp on, the glass of water's there again.
Yeah. But like, even when I was showing that to like family friends and stuff, they didn't pick up on that. It's kind of like
a general audience won't.
Yeah, but like, because we're filmmakers, and and other filmmakers will pick up on that kind of stuff, because
film buffs and stuff like that will notice.
Yeah, and what you were saying about Ryan, about the lighting as well, like having the camera settings the same for each shot, that's like another continuity thing. Like, generally they'll be noting what ISO and f-stop and all that stuff we're using that we didn't have, so we were kind of winging it a little bit, which did cause, like, there was some focus issues on some of the shots, which didn't end up being a problem in the final cut. I think it was just that under the bed one where she was taking the shirt off, which is which isn't in focus. It's still like a decent looking shot, but yeah, continuity just overall was something that was an issue, and we're gonna have to keep trying to work on, I guess. A lot of the sound in the film was Foley, which is Lewis, the sound guy. He a lot of the sound in the film was him getting objects and trying to mimic the sound and stuff. Like, I think for the crunching or the biting of the toe or something like that, it was some sort of like rubber glove thing with like little dots on it, and he'd rub them together and it would make like this sound. So things like that, that's Foley, and that's what he was doing. A lot of that was because of the fact that we had sound recording issues. So that's something we need to work on as well, so we don't have to rely on Foley and ADR, which is recording our voices again. And I think the other thing that was, because some of my notes are from the feedback that we got from the Reddits, and one of them was the narrative issues that we had with the, leaving the question of leaving the glass, like the leaving of the glass on the floor. Would you do that?
We had the digital clock on like the side table, which we it would show that it was like 11 or 12 or
time's
something,
passing.
And then when she's in bed, it's later on in the night, like 2-3. So we had that, and we had the other idea that Jamie and I had that we forgot about, I guess, was that you would see the like dustpan and broom and the glass like in the background or something, just as production design, kind of in the set. So you would assume she would have swept up and just left, like accidentally missed a bit. That's what it was intended. That was the original in the script. That's what it was. But then we kind of left it, and it was a bit of an oversight on the glass bit, leaving it up to assumption, that people would assume she cleaned it up. But
yeah. We talked early, like when you were writing the script, about, because it's such a, like, just doing short films in general, like how long we did it for, like 5 minutes, something like that. You got to pack a lot of like backstory and stuff, or like character hints in the frame and in kind of production design. So that's like the first thing we came up with. Is I had like a book about worrying and anxiety, and then placed it on her bedside table, just to give an idea to the audience that she is dealing with anxiety, and with when Ryan wrote in her breathing, it just emphasizes that she is an anxious person. She's always worrying, and she's trying to fix that with the pills and the book and the breathing. So yeah, I think you got to pump a lot of the backstory and kind of cool ideas into the background, like fill the frame up.
We did get comments on how the monster looks.
Yeah.
Like because of the fact that some of the scarring was hidden by the hair, uh, we didn't really kind of get that monsterish
You didn't get
feel
the
on the face
full
too much.
idea of what I wanted, because I mentioned, like, with the design of it, because it is taking the toe and it collects like skin, it collects toes, it collects fingers, it collects like body parts, because it's a monster that has this kind of stone grey complexion, and it just looks disgusting with the sharp teeth, and it's trying to become more human. So it's taking body parts, attaching it to itself. The skin, the monster's sewing the skin onto the face, and I wanted to emphasize that, but I didn't give that much direction. Like, Emily did great and stuff, but I didn't give that much direction as to like adding more detail to really emphasize that idea. You kind of got it with like the top of the forehead and the side of the cheek, but it wasn't really like in the camera's face. Like, this is what it's trying to do.
Some people are wondering why she doesn't scream like instantly.
'Cause she's on
And
meds.
Does that have a problem with the pill? It wasn't shown that it was.
I think
sleeping
it's
pills.
I think with the like the audience that we were targeting and how we're sharing it and things like that, it's it's like a Facebook kind of really quick to the point kind of thing. So if you miss like subtle things like that, I think on our part it was too subtle, perhaps. Where there's like the sleeping pills, and it's hard to do that with no dialogue as well. Like, if we had a dialogue about I have paranoia, I need to take sleeping pills to sleep because I'm afraid. It would have been more clearer, but it wouldn't have been it would have been too much exposition, stuff like that. But I think there has to be a balance between exposition and doing it the way we did it, which we'll learn, and we'll adapt to it, to the audience and the climate of how these kind of films work.
We talked about it on the set, like when we were shooting that shot.
Yeah,
like,
we did.
Like, do we have her react instantly? But to me, like, if you're medicated and you're asleep and something was biting at your toe and it was slowly starting to rip it off, I don't think you wouldn't instantly wake up, start screaming. I think you'd be into like
You'd
some
almost
sort of
think
confusion.
it was a dream. Yeah.
Yeah, like you'd be in like some sort of state of confusion as you're waking up, and then you realize what's going on, and then you know where the pain's coming from, and then you react. That would happen very quickly. Like, obviously you wake up, confusion, then you realize instantly, then start screaming. But I think if we imagine that shot happening where the toe comes off and then instantly she screams, that would be just as weird, because she's asleep and then all of a sudden she's up screaming.
And also, for logistically and for filmmaking, you need to build suspense. And if you throw logistics out the window for a second and you agree that she's on meds and she's waking up from what would be a fairly deep sleep, and wakes up kind of confused, and what's that feeling that I have in my toe, the phantom pain now of my toe being ripped off. If we had have sped that up, the impact wouldn't be as prominent. You have that silent bit where she wakes up. She's like slowly waking up from a drowsy, wakes up, sits up. You have all that build, quiet, and then bang, you have the flash of light, the toe, the monster there, like sitting there. You see it pretty much for the first time, I believe. And it just, as a film, as with suspense, you have to have a build up, otherwise there's no climax. So creatively, that's how we decided to do it. I understand people's comments about that. But that was just our thinking when it came to that scene, and we did. I think we tried doing it quicker, right?
We have a take where she was reacting to it, but we didn't use it because it just didn't seem. Yeah, it didn't feel right.
It didn't, and it took away from the suspense and stuff. So, yeah. But we do
wanted to
understand
build
those.
up on that.
Yeah, we do understand those comments. I think it's hard as well with those types of shorts where it's the paranoia stuff, because it's so up for interpretation already. Like stuff like that. Especially if we leave it open the way we did with, you know, the anxiety books and stuff like that and the pills, you know, if somebody misses that, then that's when those comments kind of come from. So it's a matter of finding a balance where we have that a lot clearer, and yes, and then it makes sense, you know, for a suspense kind of.
Which might be a matter of just not having that in at all for these kind of films and just going straight to the point kind of thing. So
with our next short, that's the route we took. We took the subtext. There is subtext there, but I can't say too much, but it's very obvious, and it's like
super obvious.
It's a pattern. You can see it. It's like this happens, then you notice this almost immediately. You notice this, and then the climax and what it is. So it's I think it worked. I think this next one will iron out those issues that people had with our first one.
I think the last thing I had was budget.
This will happen if somebody makes, like, you guys decide to make a film as well, to write in your budget, which we thought we were doing, but then once you write it and you see all these things you need, you'll start seeing the money go up and up and up, and you'll need all this stuff, and then you'll add, if you know, are at the level that we did, where we started adding extra people to come in, like Emily, then you have, you know, fees, and we got thankful enough where we didn't have to pay for Emily's time as well, because but there will be, you know, if you want to have a good makeup artist or a VFX SFX artist or whoever, you will most people will probably ask for pay because they'll be freelance as well. So there's all that to counter for. There's filling set, like you mentioned, and stuff like that. So it's kind of write for what your budget is. Even write less for what your budget is. Don't write a movie about a monster you can't pull off. And don't make the movie like 3-5 minute short film where the climax is the monster, and then you have no budget to design the monster.
Well, I think that's going to wrap up the Behind the Code first podcast for our first film, The Collector. Yeah.
Nice. Again, if you did enjoy it and you did watch it, thank you very much. We appreciate it. I hope you stick around, and I hope you enjoy this kind of content. And if you do, let us know, because we'll do more.
Yeah. We plan to hopefully do one of these after every film we do, and you know, if we do get comments and views and likes, you know, those things do reinforce, you know, us doing these things. So if you do have like any comments about The Collector or Code 3 or us, or anything that you want to say, just leave a comment down below. We will definitely answer them. And
we have a 12-minute response time on Facebook, so we're pretty quick.
Stay tuned. We are currently in the post-production stage of our next short.
Whoa! Already?
Can we give a teaser or something?
If you've seen our Instagram,
if you've seen our Instagram, we do have a photo up. Instagram and Twitter and Facebook.
We'll have a few by now.
Yeah, we'll have a quick little. We'll have some photos up for teasers. I think the biggest teaser is that we're all acting in it. You know, this is going to be this is going to be our time to shine as actors.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for watching, guys. That's all. Wave. Goodbye.
See ya.